Alright guys, welcome back. We are here ready for Act 5. We are here to take on Act 5 today and kill Kitava and try and head into the Act 6 zone. We want to do this without any deaths, but if you've been watching the previous videos, we've had a few. Let's have a look. It hasn't been deathless. We've died 4 times. A lot of that is due to the fact that we haven't got much evasion and we're building a lot of damage into this build. If you had watched maybe part 3 and then you're skipping to this part, you missed part 4, you can notice that I have changed the ability. We are now spell slinging Kinetic Blast of Clustering. Really fun ability, and I just wanted to try something new. So yeah, that's why it is not the Rain of Arrows build that we were playing through the first few acts. So in Act 5, there's only one thing we really want to do, is we just want to kill Kitava. We want to get through to Act 6 as fast as we can. In this zone, we want to pick up that little item that was there, and that's just going to complete a quest for us when we head back into town. We're grabbing all the orbs that we can, and we're trying to skip down these little gates here. See these gates? They're broken here. You can actually use your movement ability through them. If this gate here, I use it, I can't use my ability there. If I come down here, I can go through this broken gate, and it's going to help me navigate this zone a lot easier. And you're just trying to go from one side, like in this, what is it, the prisons basically, and head up to the other side. This one's quite easy to get through, to be honest, and it opens up into the next zone, which is like the courtyards. In the Act 5, they do actually do quite a lot of physical damage. So if you can get some physical damage reductions, anything like your evasion, your armor, a granite flask, which is going to be super necessary, especially when we go up against Kitava. So I will find one of those. You can either buy it through the trade website, or I think we do actually get one as a quest reward. So here we just kill that boss, we get the Eyes of Zeal, and that'll just allow us to open the gates into the courtyard. That's basically like the prison officer, and you just yoinked his keys, and we're going to head out to the courtyard. Now, these are the eyeballs. They do look very suspicious. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I'm going to leave that with you guys. Make them out what you will. So yeah, grab the waypoint. And this zone is like a big square, so you can go left or you can go right. The entrance we're looking for is in the top right. We're going to go all the way to the top of the map, and then we're just going to head all the way right. So we did get a 5 link last time as well. We bought that from the trade website. We also got some new wands, which massively increased our DPS. And we actually got a new jewel as well. So if you're not too sure how jewels work, just go and have a look at the last 5 minutes of Act 4, my Part 4 guide, and it'll explain everything in there. The attack speed that we've got on this is really good. We want to just build as much attack speed as we can on this build. The faster we can zoom, the better. So we just headed in one straight line, and then when we reach the top here, you'll see that this up by here is a dead end. So keep going. Oh, almost died. Almost killed me for a 5th time. So we've reached a dead end here. So when you reach that dead end, you just come back, you bust a right turn in here, and you just head all the way until you see this quest icon, and we're going to go head into the Templar Courts. Okay, so we've got 2 quests completed already. We're going to do this essence, which is always good. This one drops a Remnant of Corruption. What Remnant of Corruption does, it allows you to corrupt the next essence that you see. So that can obviously do a lot of things. It usually means that it's going to drop more than one essence that next time you see one. We also picked up a new life flask, which is a hallowed life flask, giving us 1,900 HP instead of we were on 1,000. So it's basically, you know, almost doubling the HP that we get from it. We're only at 800 HP at the moment, so huge upgrade on the flask side of things. Go ahead and just pump some damage here. So we've got a couple of bosses in Act 5. Two of them are quite scary. We've got the last boss, Katava, and then we've got another fight, which is coming up quite soon, called Innocence. Some would actually say that he's more difficult. He's kind of got this really overpowering damage, and he's got like this three-phase attack, or three-phase kind of fight that we have to go through. That it is just sometimes a little bit harder. I suppose Katava has got a similar phased fight. Okay, let's carry on. So we've got a level up on the gem. Currently our gem level is level 6. So as that gets higher, closer to obviously 20 being the maximum gem level that you can get, that's where you're going to have the highest DPS. So we're leveling up quite good in this zone as well. I think that's like the second level I've got. And the next zone is a really, really good zone. If you want to level up, if you feel like you're under leveled, what level am I? I'm level 45 in a 42 zone. But this zone here, the Chamber of Innocence, this is one of the best leveling zones that you can come to. Another good thing about this zone is there is a crafting recipe in here which gives you movement speed on boots. So if you don't have any movement speed boots and you want to come here, definitely pick up the crafting recipe. But this zone is littered with big packs of mobs, so you can definitely get some good XP here. And we just picked up a new mana flask, which is great. This isn't a good mod though. This says it's increased 42% increased mana recovered, so I get 994 over 6 seconds, which is good. But it says it removes 15% of mana recovered from life when used. So that's going to be taken off from our life, which we don't want to use, to be honest. That's kind of one of the worst mods that you can get on your flasks. But yeah, this zone, as you can see, it's just crazy good for leveling up anything. Even if you just wanted to level up a little bit extra before going into the Katava fight, feel free to do that. Some people just stay here just to get some decent gear, because obviously there's a lot of blue packs. Blue packs of magic mobs usually drop better gear. And yeah, you'll just find that this zone is quite linear as well. You just kind of follow the one wall, go up and down the stairs in these places, and you're never going to be shy of getting mobs to kill. So the crafting recipe is somewhere in the middle of the room. See, I've kind of run on the outside. If you look at my overlay, it'll be somewhere in this middle that you can actually get the movement speed crafting recipe. So definitely check that out. Wouldn't mind actually soon getting a shield, because when we go into Act 6, I think that's when I'll get a shield and start leveling up my Orb of Alchemy, nice. My shield charge ability. So it's just an ability that you can constantly have, especially with the attack speed that I've got. It'll just make floating between groups of mobs a little bit quicker. At the moment, I've only got my Frostblink, and then I've got my Quicksilver flasks, but I would like to have that constant, like, dashing about ability, which most builds do have some sort of constant movement ability. This game is, you know, kind of a fast-paced game. So we're through this area now, and we come up to this door, which is the the Chamber of Innocence, and this is High Templar Avarius. He does quite a bit of damage, but look at our damage. It's absolutely insane. So we get him down to half HP. And then he's going to come to the middle, and he's going to spawn a load of monsters around. And this is probably going to be one of the easiest builds that I can actually do this on. Because I don't even have to aim. I can just click in wherever I want, and it's just going to destroy everything all around. These guys do spawn in these little bubbles, so you do have to go inside the bubble to damage them. If you stand outside, see, it's not going to damage him, so you do have to go inside. There's some exceptions to that rule, but yeah. So now this is phase 3, so he dies, and then you can see his spirit is reborn, and now time to kill Innocence. This guy is quite difficult, so he has this beam Best thing to do is stay close to him because he can't spin fast enough. Or if you've got a decoy totem, you can put that down and he'll usually attack the decoy totem instead of you. He also does a ball ability where he throws out like, you know, good 20, 30 balls, and they will come at you. And if you get hit by a few of them, you'll probably end up dying. But if you die, the checkpoint is just right outside the door anyway, so it's nothing to really concern yourself with too much. It's just you're losing that 10% XP every time you die. So he's doing this. We're going to stay behind him. And then he's going to go into the final phase. Watch out for those balls. They're not the ones I was talking about. They're not so bad. But if you walk into 3 or 4 of them, you might get quite low. He also summons a one of these statues from around. I think he's already summoned both of them. Yeah, he summons this statue as well that tries to attack you. But yeah, this fight it's not crazy hard, but it's, I'd say, one of the more complicated boss fights that you've probably seen so far. So another beam, keep your HP full. I'm just going to put our final damage into him, and there we go. I'd advise, you know, picking all sorts of gear up, especially gear that you're looking for, like a staff I know I don't need, a blade I know I don't need, but you can still vendor it. I skipped that cutscene just for you guys, so, you know, if it's your first time playing, I want you to be able to see it for the first time. And then now we've reached Bannon, what I usually do is I head back to town and I just hand in all the quests that I've done. So we've done only these 3-4 zones here, but we've got quite a few quests to hand in. What I usually do here is I look to see what resistances I need. I'm capped at 75 at all of them, so I don't actually need any rings, but I will just choose one. This is the granite flask that I was talking about earlier. We are definitely going to pick this up, especially for Katava. And with this, I would usually choose, this is like the strength gem, this is the dexterity gem, and this is the spellcasting gem. I'm going to take the spellcasting one, take the book of skill from him, speak to Bannon, and then we've just got this one. So I'm just going to choose anyone at random because it doesn't actually matter, because my gear seems to be pretty okay for now, especially resistance wise. So we've got cast speed and minion elemental damage, nothing we need there. And actually that's really good. So we got this granite flask, gave me a mod with 26% increased critical strike chance during the effect. If we use an orb of augmentation, we can just add another line. It says reduce duration, but it increases the effect. We'll go ahead and we're going to equip that instead of our life flask. And if I go down to my flasks here, I can look to see if I've got an instant recovery. Yeah. So I've got an instant recovery life flask there. So I'll go ahead and equip that. I also have a new mana flask that I can use. Obviously, you probably won't have all of these mana flasks or any upgrades like I do. But just... Oh, wow, look at that. That is an insane ring. That is actually so good. So I got that from a quest reward, and that is giving 22 to fire resistance, 27 to cold resistance, 22 to lightning resistance, and then plus 12 to cold and lightning resistance. All of those are suffixes, and you've got one prefix, which means you can craft life onto that as well. So that's actually such a good ring to be getting. That if you have any issues with your elemental resistances before, that would clear it up. That really would. So I might even just hang on to that ring for leveling. So I'll put that in my rings. And this is what you do when you've got your stash tab. You kind of keep that good gear, because eventually you'll need it again when you level up your second character. Okay, we're hoping to get these 2 nodes before we go into Katava. I always like to have at least 1,000 HP before going into the Katava fight. And I've got full cap resistances, and I also have my armor flask there. So we just went back through our portal, and we're going to go through to the Torch Courts. And that is basically the zone we already went through before the Chamber of Innocence, but it's just now on fire, so it's a little bit spookier. This here is a voltaxic sulfite chest. If you watched the previous video, I mentioned that a man named Nico wants you to go to visit his mining encampment. You click these and it adds up a voltaxic sulfite bar here. My maximum is 1200. I think that is the start, and it basically, that's like the fuel that allows you to explore into this endless mine, which is so good actually. If you really, if you enjoy kind of like endless dungeon grinding, that is a good place to do it in the delve. Another league mechanic, we're lucky we've got 2 in this map. This one is called Delirium. You walk into the mirror, and as you're going through the zone, these monsters will spawn, and as you're killing them, this bar on the bottom left will fill up. This has got like a chest icon, so it's going to reward a certain reward, but you can get ones that drop currency, you can get ones that drop weapons, drop armor, drop like fossils. You can get all sorts of rewards from Delirium, and you've just got to kind of keep going through the fog. If you stop walking, the fog will eventually catch up with you, and then the event will stop, and then at the end it'll drop all of your rewards on the floor. So the more monsters that you can kill, the faster you can get through it, the higher this bar is going to get. I'm on 2 at the moment, so 2 rewards. Oh god, that killed me so quickly. See, this timer has now begun because I'm too far away from the fog. I'm not going to be able to get back into it, am I? No, so it dropped 2 things for me. God, I hate it when I die like that. I wasn't expecting that at all. So I got 965 HP now. Just try not to get blasted by that guy again. Oh, nice. Drop some shards and some orbs. Yeah, this game is obviously a free-to-play game, but it is probably worth buying some stash tabs, you know. Not just because you can sell things to other players, which is obviously really good, but just so you can have a more efficient stash tab. Because when we get into the end game and we're doing maps, the stash and your hideout, you kind of do spend a lot of time there organizing, sorting, and trying to just make your life a little bit easier by having the right things in the right places, so you're able to craft things easily, you're able to find the maps that you want to do more easily. Yeah, having a good stash and an organized stash is always going to be really handy. Definitely check out the shop, see if there's any deals on. I think they do deals once a month on stash tabs, so you can buy points there. If you come to stash tabs, you can see they've got all of these different stash tabs. You've got premium quad stash tabs, which is like a really big version. You get a currency stash tab. I'd say that is probably one of the most important ones. That just automatically sorts all of your currency into your stash. You can get things like fragments. You can upgrade your stash tabs to premium stash tabs. So the premium ones are the ones that you can sell, or you can upgrade it, or you can just buy them outright. Extra stash tabs, you can buy bundles, so we're 200 points and that gives you 6 premium tabs. So yeah, check out the shop, and you can even buy some really cool microtransactions as well. And if you're playing in some of the leagues, you can actually win, or not win, you can earn microtransactions by just playing. So this league, we had the Autumn Knight armor set. Go ahead and put all this on for you just so I can show you. So this was all free. Managed to pick up all of this knight set for free, and you can even get some back attachments. This one, yeah, so all this gear was all free this league. So, you know, you look pretty cool, and all I had to do was get to level 80, which doesn't seem that bad considering we're already level 46. Actually almost level 47. We're just flying through the game now. As you get further and further into the game, the damage gets more insane. Your movement speed gets more insane. Your attack speed, your cast speed, everything just gets ramped up so fast. And that's the best part about Path of Exile, is getting those characters to like a godlike mode where there's like no turning back. You are feeling powerful. But that spike will eventually dip. You will feel really powerful, and then you're going to get into maps, and there's different tiers, and eventually you're going to feel like, oh shit, yeah. I'm up against it now kind of thing. And they do get really, really strong. Tier 17 is the highest tier of map. I've never found a tier 17. I'm currently on tier 16s on 2 of my characters. I'm having an easy time doing the tier 16s. I do die quite often, but I'm able to kill. You know, the damage seems to be there, but it's also about building those defensive layers, and it's always good to have more than just one defensive layer. So instead of just having armor or just evasion, you want to get, you know, armor, evasion, energy shield. You want to get spell suppression. You want to build some resistance to being frozen and things like that, because being frozen, especially in the late part of the game, will just mean your death. If there's, you know, 100 monsters on you and you're frozen, it only takes 2 or 3 hits. Obviously at the moment the maps aren't hugely filled with monsters. You know, there's a good few, but as you get to higher levels, the pack size of the monsters are going to grow so large that it is hard to stay alive if you get pushed into there. So I've got 2 rewards. I've got jewelry and I've got currency. So it drops some currency and then some jewelry as well. And belts do fall under the jewelry sign. So we're in this zone here called the ossuary. We had to pick up a staff. So we've just gone and collected that. A crafting recipe here. Make sure you pick that up. At this point of the game, you should be seeing crafting recipes and you should know what they look like on the minimap, and you should just be picking them up regardless of what they are. So I've got 978 HP at the moment. With this, I get 20 to maximum life and then 10% increased life overall. So if we apply that, we've now got 1094, so almost 100 HP. Even though it says 20 maximum life and 10% increased maximum life, if we come down to, where is it? Where's life? Life regeneration. We're looking for life on tree. Don't think it's on here, but we basically we get a lot of life from the tree. So we've obviously got like 5% increased maximum life, 10% increased maximum life, and we're going to grab this node, which is 10% increased maximum life, 6% maximum life. All of these increase the life that you've got on all of your gear. So I've got here 106 max life, 6 max life, where's another one, 113 to max life, we've got 20 to max life, 35 to max life. All of those add up, and then when you get the increase, so let's say overall I've got 100, or let's say 1000 HP without any increases. If then I've got a 50% increase overall from my skill tree, it's going to give me an extra 500 HP on top of my 1000. So it doesn't increase just the life that you've got there. So if I've got 1000 life, 1094, and I get 5% more, it doesn't increase it onto the 1094. It increases it onto my base value of HP, of life. So there's a lot of intricate things about Path of Exile, but you'll just learn them as you play. And I hope I'm doing a good enough job that you guys are actually staying engaged in the game and wanting to carry on. While we do this, we can just quickly show you in this little zone down here, there is another hideout called the Stately Hideout. So go ahead and pick that up if you haven't already. Like I said, there's loads of hideouts all dotted around the map. You've just got to go out there and find them. You can also Google them. If you just go on Google, have a little research, PoE Wiki, look for certain hideouts, you will be able to find where they are. So we just killed that mini boss there. We're now coming down to this zone down here, and we want to go into the next area, which is going to give us a quest reward once we pick up a few items in here, and the quest reward being a skill point, the reliquary. So we go to the reliquary, and we're going to pick up 3 items. They're all dotted around the map. We're always trying to pick up every single what am I trying to say, passive skill point that we can from all of the quests throughout the entire campaign. And I did mention it in part 2 of the video, I believe. If you type in passives. Oh, let's not die first. If we type in /passives, you can see I've got all these 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That's because I haven't missed any. If I've been able to do the quest but haven't completed it, one of those numbers will show up as 0. But so far, we've hit every single quest that we've needed to. So if you've been following along, good job. We're exactly where we need to be. At this point in the game, I feel like I don't really need to pick up any Orb of Transmutations anymore. So if you just see me skipping past these orbs, don't worry. You still pick them up if you're low on any currency. If you feel like you've got enough, you know, anything over like 100 is, you know, pretty good. You're not going to need a buttload of them, but 100 seems to be a pretty decent amount. So the same stat that I was talking about with maximum life also applies for like increased critical strike chance. So let's say I've got a base value of 10% critical strike chance. This here gives me 26% increased critical strike chance. That doesn't mean that now I've got a 1 in 4 chance to critical strike. It just means it increases my 10% critical strike chance, that is my base value, by 26%. So 26% of 10 is 2.6. So instead of having 10% crit now, I'd have 12.6% chance. So that is a, you know, always think of it in like smaller numbers so you can kind of understand it in a more simple way. So it's not going to give you 26% in, you know, to your critical strike chance. That would just be insane to have that so early on, that basically 1 in 4 shots. I'd understand, yeah, 1 in 4 shots if you were hitting once every minute, but I'm hitting, you know, good 100. You know, look how fast I'm attacking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, at least 4 of them would have been crits. So, so yeah, the crit chance is anything that says increased is like an additive value, but if it says more, it's like a multiplicative value. So, if you have the chance to get more or increased, always go for more. Okay, so I've got the 3 items there. I was just running around. I was getting ahead of myself, just talking to you guys. So we're going to head back to the town now. And we're actually almost finished in Act 5. This is probably even one of the quicker ones again. So we'll pick up the skill point there. Speak to Bannon. He's going to offer you a reward. What I want to choose at the moment is this buckler, because I am looking to get a shield. Dexterity, evasion rating 5 to life. It's not a crazy good shield, so I think I'm just gonna not bother with it just yet. Let me check out my skill tree, because I need to just keep following it. I'm gonna go up this way, and we're gonna take this Iron Will. Strength's damage bonus applies to all spell damage as well, so all of the strength I've got will apply to spell damage, which is good. Okay, so what I'd like to do quickly is just head to my hideout. And when you've got a hideout and you've invited all the people there, especially when you get through to Act 6 and you can invite Lily Roth, you can purchase all of your gems from here. The gem I'd like to get is Leap Slam. I'm going to go ahead and take Leap Slam. I'm going to get faster attack support, which is in the green. And I'm also going to get... Oh, I also want to buy Shield Charge, because Shield Charge will be better. But at the moment, I just don't have a shield to wear it on. I'm going to have to recolor some boots. So I will try and recolor these. I want a green and red. Just try and get these as a 4. If we just spam click it, it'll stop at 4. Don't need it to all be socketed. I just need a red. Could do with 2 reds actually. Not going to give me 2 reds, is it? It's more favored towards green and blue. So you know what? I'll just take the green and the red there. And then if I go ahead and equip this, change that to red. I've got my shield charge there, leveling up. Ooh, just got an achievement. Maraketh Steel, Rapier. So I've just got that in my my offhand. Skill can't be used. Maces, scepters, swords, or staff. So I do need to get, actually. So Leap Slam is out of the question. Can't actually use Leap Slam. That's fine. Let's go ahead and delete that. We can just go ahead and ideal these things. Not good. Not good. I'm saying they're not good for me. You know, that's got dex and cold damage and energy shield, which is good, but it's got mana regeneration, which I don't need. And my rings are pretty good at the moment. Yeah, and the belt I could do with an upgrade. I've only got a level 9 belt, but the one I've got at the moment has got some nice HP. Let's have a quick look here in my belts. 98 life. Yeah, we can sure go ahead and get that one. Big increase to the life. And if we've got this, can add some damage to attacks. So have a quick look. 7217, 77. So we've just added some more damage. So now we're going to go back into Act 5 and head to the Ruins Square. We've done all the additional quests that we needed to do. We've picked up all of the extra skill points. And now we're going to head over to the rooftop area. So we need to head all the way down this side of the map. Yeah, we would like to get shield so we can actually use shield charge. But for the time being, as long as we've got it equipped and we're leveling it up, by the time we do get a shield, we'll just be able to get around the maps a little bit quicker. We're looking for the entrance on this left side here. Here we go, to the cathedral rooftop. And this here is the last zone before we get to the final boss of Act 5, which is Katava. I have said a couple of times, he is dangerous. He hits very hard. You may even want to watch like a guide on how to kill him. I will try and run through some of the things that he does. You've got to watch his hands. He does slam his hands down, causing a lot of damage. You can kind of only see like the top half of his body. He's kind of like, you know, the size of a building, and his bottom half is in the building, and you're fighting on the rooftop itself. But I'll quickly show you. He also breathes fire, so watch out for the fire. You do want to be capped full fire resistance, and always be prepared to pop your granite flask if you've got one equipped. Especially when he comes down with those slams with his hands. You know, I may even die on this boss. It's not crazy to say I'm not going to die. I've got 1,200 HP. I'm fully resistance capped at the moment. It is something you should definitely do before heading in there. And as we zoom out a little bit, we head into the Cathedral Apex. We click this, and as you see here now, Katava will come up, and he's huge. So we're just going to instantly start putting down some damage. Watch his hand. Go to that other side of the map. If he's there swiping his hand, just go to the other side. Watch for the big slams. And he's going to go through a couple of phases. When you see this, it means he's going through to his next phase. On this fight here, you only have to get him down to half HP, and that'll consider him beat. So he comes up a little bit worse for wear. If you see these big red blobs on the floor, stay away from it. Big punches he does, stay away from those. He does telegraph his attacks quite well, so you can just look, you just keep watching him. Don't get numb to just all the things that are flashing on your screen. Try and check him to see what he does. Now he spits out his heart, and we've just got to damage this as well. Just want to stay away. He does spawn some additional monsters, and he's still got those things floating about as well, so just careful of everything. There's a lot going on in this fight. It may not look this easy when you're doing it. You may get overwhelmed, but just watch his hands. Keep watching his hands. Stay away from these. Oh, look at that. Almost got one shot. Almost. In one hit. He's throwing things. He went for the punch there. I saw it. His right hand. These things, you want to stay out of those. They like 4 dots coming in from the outside. If you step in either one of them, it damages you. Best thing to do is probably just use a movement ability when you see that. So I'll try and show you how to do it now. I'll keep Frostblink off cooldown, and if I see it happen again, I'll Frostblink out. So you'll see him do it now. Frostblink out of it. Ooh. See, if you use your Frostblink, you can't dodge the other moves as good. See, so having a different movement skill, not just the one to rely on, is probably better. Especially seeing as this Frostblink does have a cooldown of almost 3 seconds. But that's it. We've just managed to get him down to half HP. He comes up in a different form again. Now he's like more enraged. And a bit of lore here. Him and Innocence went at it. Kitava's still there, and we died. It says you've been permanently weakened by Kitava's cruel affliction. You now have -30 to all resistances. This is true. I am now down -30 on each one. I'm still overcapped on cold and lightning, but my fire is now undercapped at 63%. My chaos is also at -30. This will stay like this forever. You're always going to keep this 30% penalty. And again, when we finish Act 10, the same thing is going to happen. And that's why I advise right now, when you get to town, Act 5, this Act 6 is pretty cool. So we just picked up a quest from Lily. I'm just going to fit this one last thing to do into the Act 5 guide before we finish this episode and we go to the next act, which is here, but until I record it. So this quest is said to come to this the Twilight Strand, and it might look familiar. So we were just in Lion Eye's Watch, where the game first began. This is actually the beach where you first spawned. So I'll just quickly go ahead. We're just going to clear the Twilight Strand. We're just going to kill all the mobs here. And what it's going to allow us to do is access all of the skill gems. Like I showed you earlier in my hideout, I've got Lily Roth, who sells all of the skill gems. Lily Roth is from Act 6, and I think this is where you can actually invite her to your hideout as well. So it's going to kill all these guys. This guy's a bit beefy. Get the essences. And as you start killing more and more, in the bottom left corner, when you've got less than 5 mobs left, it'll actually tell you how many mobs are remaining. We've got a different league mechanic here as well, a Smuggler's Cache. So I've got 3 monsters remaining. Still 3 monsters remaining. 2 monsters remaining. You can open this up and it gives you a contract. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But we've now got to go and try and find those 2 monsters that were left behind. Cheeky rascals got away. Where will they be? Alright, let's go check the top half of the map, see if they're up there. Having your shield charge ability right now is really handy because you're going to be moving a lot quicker than what you are without them. There's one guy. Only 1 monster remains now. Surely he's got to be here somewhere. Come on, man. Where are you? Oh god, well this is embarrassing, isn't it? This was meant to be... Oh, there he is. This was meant to be a very quick, easy guide. So, we're going to port back to Lion Eye's Watch. We're going to quickly go and speak to Lily. And at this point of the game, you've got the resistances, obviously, at -30%. I'd like you to go onto the trade website. You're looking for... a belt is a really good way to get new resistances, so you can get up to 40% of fire, cold, and lightning on a single belt with life, for probably 2 or 3 chaos, especially at this point in the league when we've been playing for a while. I'd advise as well maybe getting some boots with some better movement speed than just 10%. If you can get some resistances on that as well, that's great. And then you're looking for rings with some good resistances, and even now you're looking to go on your build guide and you're looking to flesh out all of the skill gems that you need. So I know on my build guide, if I show you here, let me just swap my screen over. Right, so if I show you, this is the build guide that I follow. This is called Path of Building. This is basically the skill tree that I'm following. I can put a link in the description below. It's very easy to, let me just save this. KB leveling. So what you do is you can click onto new at the very top. You click import and export builds. If you come to the this is the build that I'm following, this is the link. You just click copy. you come over here and you paste your build there and you click import. This shows you everything that this character has, skills, items, and everything. This may look confusing to you. All you're really focusing on is the tree, especially when you first started, just the tree itself, and maybe the skills. So this is the 6 link that I want to get in my armor. In my boots, I need these 4. I don't have any of these yet, so I will be picking these up definitely. Arcane Cloak, this is another 4 link setup that I definitely need. I've got Precision, I don't have Vitality, I've got my Spell Sling and Tornado, I've got a couple of these still abilities that I don't have. This is the part of the game now where you're going to go, right, I need these abilities. Let me go to Lily, let me purchase them, and then from there on, your build's going to be improving. You're going to be leveling up those skill gems going through Act 6 all the way through to Act 10, so you're not falling behind, especially when you get up to level 68, when you finish all the acts and you go, right, I need to buy all my skill gems now. You're just going to have to just do it now. It's going to save you a lot of hassle, and it's going to just flesh out that build, make it a little bit better. So yeah, that is part 5 of the Path of Exile guide. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, and until next time, peace.